of the dais also quite a number of people are there. They are known to me by face. This is long that I have met them. Gradually going out of my memory. But anyway, let me thank Principal and the college organizers for creating an excellent opportunity of interacting with the people who are on the other side of the chair to see what is the best possible way of looking into the roots of the traditional knowledge system, which has taken its grip in the 21st century, which is slowly getting into the concept of slowly through the globalization process and through the British colonial system that we have lost all those glory and glamour of our traditional knowledge are slowly reviving. It's not only with us, international communities have started recognizing that traditional knowledge is definitely a boon to the existing system. And that is how across the globe also this concept is now taking a new shape and a new direction altogether. Probably things will see how the traditional knowledge will evolve into new millennium. So I am going to talk because of the constraints of the time. The topic that I am going to present before you: climate change, natural hazards, and climate resilience. This is the topic, and let me tell the story. I will quickly glance through the pictures because there are a lot of pictures which will create a lot of interest in you, but they may not have sufficient time to explain. So I will quickly just take a snap of this. All slides are sufficient to inspire you for something, because all the slides, whatever you will see, very selectively chosen for all of you to get into. I am going to tell the story of the last 50 years. The struggle of the humankind, the struggle of the human civilization of the 21st century against the problems of global environmental crisis, global warming, climate change, natural hazards. How we have been trying hard from tooth and nail to fight against this, to develop a resilience to all this, and facing a challenge which is yet to be made bigger. If we are not interested, tomorrow is not going to come to us. If we are not interested. So I think you can now look at this. Okay. Connecting with the audience is more important than looking at this slide. Because body language tells what you want to. This is not a. But anyway, we go with this. So the whole story of the presentation is what has happened during the last half a century that we have been doing. For the last 200 years, problem that has come from the industrial revolution that started in the world from 1750 onwards. 200 years spent 1750 to 1850, first industrial revolution. That brought a lot of industry, industrial production, and there is this increase in the kind of consumption pattern. So new things started coming up with industry. Second industrial revolution was a technological revolution, 1850 to 1950. These 200 years created enough of problems of environment for all of us. Forests are depleted, global started warming, atmospheric pollution started, glaciers started receding, ocean waters started warming up. All these problems of environment that we see, including the degradation of the environment, loss of biodiversity, whatever the problem that we have been seeing during this and at present also, has started cropping up during these 200 years. And since then, since 1972, we have been trying to look at this not only at our personal level, at the apex level, from all heads of the nations of all the Euro countries have been trying hard how to control this. Over the years, there have been repeated conferences, workshops, agreements, agendas, so many things are going on. But still the challenge is unformidable. It's very difficult to manage, and still we are reading about the problem. We do not know where we are leading, but we are now making to the point of tipping. Now the last point of tipping is coming for us, and this is what is okay. So the journey of half a century from 1972 onwards. The first congregation of the heads of the nations of the UNO in Stockholm in 1972 to discuss the problems of the world environmental crisis. And that can be beginning of a larger decision-making body of the UNO to take something forward in controlling the environmental problems. And we ended at Paris COP21, where some solutions emerged. Till that time there was no solution. Consensus to all the countries were there. At Paris conference, something came up, and the nationally determined amount of carbon dioxide reduction from each country was proposed at that time, subsequent to the Paris conference. And then, simultaneously, the problem of environment went along with the problem of climate change and climate-related disasters. So again, a series of conferences were also going on across the globe that started from 1990. International Decade for Natural Disaster Reduction created out of this climate problem. All community started looking at this how to reduce the disasters. And in the process, they have been also trying repeatedly again and again till the Sendai framework in 2015. Series of conferences again at the heads of the nations level. All the presidents and prime ministers of the countries were attempting to take decisions what we should do at the global level, reducing and getting down to the country level, how the policy should change, how the governance should change, how the financing should change, and how we address to the problems of the environment which is cropping up because of the human civilization that is being created by our industrial revolution. So we will quickly go into this story. So I start with this 1972. A book was published from the name of the book is The Limits to Growth. Because around that time, across the globe, everything was growing. Population is growing, resources exploitation is growing, carbon dioxide emission is growing. Whatever you say, the living style that is also changing and growing. Economy is growing, everything is growing. And people started thinking of that if everything is going on like this, how long this earth can support this growing demand of the population? Giving us this earth. So this is where his book Limits to Growth, published by Donald Meadows and Dennis Meadows and our companions, based on one of the research undertaken at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology by John First, one of the scientists and his companion, who run a model of dynamic sustainability using different type of parameters of all these needs that humankind. Suppose this much of population, what is the need of that? There, from water source, land source, agriculture source, everything. So they try to run a computer model of derive this and try to derive at a conclusion. And the conclusion goes like this: if the present growth and consumption pattern does not change by 2050, that was the wording of that book. We need the resources of 3 planets to sustain this earth. Whatever the resources are there on the earth, we need similar type of 3 planets. And either the civilization or the growth must end. The growth must end at some point to sustain the life of the people and the planet, or else the civilization has come to an end. So this is a wording in 72. And then now we proceed further. What is going on? And then there are conferences which have been over the years. Probably the Stockholm Conference in 1972 brought a new concept, United Nations Environment Program. It was not there in Europe. It started in 1972 after the discussions. Then World Commission was instituted. Program Commission report came. Sustainable concept of sustainable development was brought into the limelight. The focus of that report was the global south is having a poverty is the problem to the environment. Global north is consuming so much in such a scale that is a problem for the environment. Poverty is a problem, the consumption of the global north is also a problem. So how to create a harmony, how to create a balance, how to bring a sustainable development, meet the poverty, eradicate the poverty, bring them to the mainstream, reduce the consumption. Many of the developing countries are not very happy because compromise in their lifestyles. So many of the conferences, USA and many developed countries did agree to sign the decisions which they have taken at their level. And that continued till Paris conference where all of them joined together to that point. And then the Rio conference came in environment and development in 1992 after 20 years. One of the major conferences, between many conferences were gone. And that again became a landmark. How to proceed further to control the environmental problem. And that is the time we realize that yes, not only the environmental problem, climate is becoming a problem now. Climate is changing. And this is going to affect the humanity, the civilization. So that is where in 1992, the Earth is called the Earth Summit. A new organization came up, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which was not there. Then again it came as a climate change to address the issue. And then came the Kyoto Protocol, which was defined by many people. Then came in 2002, Johannesburg Conference. Sustainable Development Goals were set at that time. Millennium Development Goal was set, and then subsequently Sustainable Development Goals. And in disaster management also simultaneously going on. Because of the climate-related hydrometeorological disasters have started increasing because of the climate change. You see in green there are International Center for Natural Disaster Reduction, Yakoma strategy, that was a conference in Yakoma where they decided we should reduce disaster risk. We should collaborate among the countries and help those countries who are not capable of managing their disasters. We must help and see that disaster risk reduces. And then simultaneously again the Hyogo Framework of Action came from 2005 to 2015. And again in 15 again came the Sendai Framework, that is where we are now proceeding toward managing the. In one part we are addressing the disasters, in another part we are managing the climate, in another part we are trying to manage the environment. You see all these three things are converging at the UNO level to see that the humanity sustains. Sustainable development goals are met. Things are extremely challenged now. But that challenge that we are now. These are the 17 goals. But what the climate change evidences are coming up. Global temperature has, in spite of all the efforts that have been going on since 1972, all the declarations and all the efforts made at the international level, percolating down to the country level, global temperature has never reduced. Temperature is going on, and now it has almost reaching 1.5 from the pre-industrial level. This is where, and if it is reaching 2, probably we are heading into a serious crisis. That's why there has been a decision that we should remain our temperature below 2 degrees from the pre-industrial level of increase. Arctic ice has been thinner by 40%, alpine Himalayan glaciers are retreating, acidification is increasing in the sea, and then changes in animal behavior, breeding cycles, and climate extremes intensity and periodicity of the disasters are changing. Frequency is changing of the disasters. Magnitude is changing. More number of severe disasters are now coming up. After 2020, we see many super cyclone type of cyclones are across the globe. People are suffering. And simultaneously, the periods, the time when the disasters will become has also changed, affecting to our crop cycle, affecting to our agricultural activities. Like that, and the effort that we are making for changing the energy concept from energy to the green energy, but still we are not very much happy because still carbon dioxide contributes 64% of our global warming, methane is 19%, chlorofluorocarbon is still 11%, like this. This is what is going on. And now the concentration of carbon particles in the atmosphere, which was at pre-industrial level 200 ppm per million, is now gone to 400. If it is going to 600, we cannot breathe. There is a threat to the life the moment it is reaching 600. We have crossed from 200 to 400 now. If you go to Delhi, 400 is very far. We are not at 400 level, it's less than that. If you go to Delhi during summer, it is almost 400. That's why the cars are given even an odd numbers to run in the streets. And people started thinking of carrying oxygen bottles, just like water bottles. My parents had not seen a water bottle. We have seen water bottle. My children will see oxygen bottle. We are heading towards that. And next generation, what will happen to do? Nothing. Nothing. So this is where we are. I will see come to some of the important points. This is not the size. This is how the gases are changing, how the Greenland ice is changing. Global temperature is rising at sea level of more than 5 degrees. This is the average temperature of the world, how it is changing and what is the trend. And these are the years which El Nino, La Nina phenomena with. These are the years accompanied with floods, accompanied with cyclones, accompanied with droughts. And these are the Indian situation where the things are going incredible. This is the climate related disasters, how the number is increasing. Before 2000, it was almost 200. Now it is gone up to 400 per year. Incident across the globe. And this is the trend also. This is how our Gangotri glacier has changed its position. The place of origin of Gangotri, the Ganga river has changed. We got back to about 50 kilometers now from the original place. The earliest place of Cherrapunji is now the proud place of the world also. Once upon a time, our geography books used to give the reference that yes, Cherrapunji is the highest rainfall place. Now it is experiencing drought during the summer season. And new disasters started appearing, mostly erosion. And this is one of the villages in Ganjam district, the 8th village. After 7 villages which have been submerged along the Odisha coast, which many people may not be knowing. 7 villages already gone into the sea. This is the 8th village. Kodapeta, Ganjam district. This is the satellite picture. You see this beach. And how the beach is gradually getting into the sea. And like this, ultimately, in 2011, the village was submerged and the people have been displaced from that particular place to a new village settled by the government. And this is the population explosion, simultaneously the extinction of the species. And this is what is going on now. And still, petroleum is the highest source of energy, coal is the highest source of energy providers, and the natural gas. We have not been able to change over to the green energy. And this is the situation across the globe that we see. You will think naturally, and that is how the habitat has been lost. Animals are coming to the our place. You can see this. This is the situation in Maharashtra, where tiger is entering into the community. And this is the plot of the different cities of India. And this is the crowd situation where people are congregating around a well to collect water. Green situation that we see, this is also a situation in the polar region and in the temperate region where the snow that's there. There are the wildfires across the forest. In the temperate region or the cold region, previous forest fire is also now coming up. And this is what is said. Traffic signals, plastics are melting because of the urban